Yeah, Jen, there's certainly a lot to sort out here. And from what we're being told, this all may have started in North Branford yesterday, where two service stations were hit by criminals that were in a vehicle that is matching the same description as the incidents that we learned about today. But really, it's been service stations across the state of Connecticut, like right here in Norwich at this Shell station, that have seen their ATMs become recent targets.
It's a scary thing because sometimes you feel like, we are not even safe.
Swaranjit Singh Khalsa knows these crimes all too well. His ATM was stolen from a Shell station in Norwich mid-pandemic. This exclusive video, watch the upper left corner as it takes the perpetrators just seconds before making their getaway.
Now I have tightened up more security. I have a better security alarm. I have to spend some money to make this place more secure.
Under the cover of darkness, brazen thieves besieged service stations in about half a dozen Connecticut communities.
Crime is on the rise. It's everywhere.
In the early hours of Friday, police say thieves hit this Valero service station in South Windsor. A black and silver pickup rammed the service station. That ATM later discovered in Wethersfield, where police say two unsuccessful ATM thefts were attempted. Here at a Cumberland Farms, the door broken in. And at this Mobile Gas, where some cigarettes were stolen.
The typical MO for that is they back into the front window, the front door, smash it out, throw a chain around the ATM, pull the ATM machine out and drag it. It's done in less than 60 seconds.
Cybersecurity experts told Fox 61 ATMs are also the target of technological crime. Skimmer scanners that can steal your credit card information. But the innovation of chip cards is making those types of thefts more difficult.
I think what's happening is bad guys are saying, hey, ATMs are where the money are. We can't use these skimmers so effectively anymore. People are using chip cards. So now they're just stealing the entire ATM machine itself.
And Scholl also went on to say he believes these ATM thefts are largely connected to gangs and organized crime. He says it is just too complicated for your common, everyday criminal to pull it off alone, especially without any expertise in hacking. We're live here in Norwich. Matt Caron, Fox 61 News.